Hello students, I wanted to go through a worksheet, just go through all the answers with you. So you have that as you work through the other review for the test. So if we want to go ahead, find the length of it, we're going to subtract our x values. So we're going to go 2 minus -1 squared plus -3 minus 2 squared. And we're going to take the square root of all that. So that's 3 squared plus -5 squared. Again, square root of that. So that's 9 plus 25. 9 plus 25 is 34. So we just say it's the square root of 34. If we want to find the midpoint, we're going to add our x values together, divide by 2. So 2 plus -4, divide by 2. That's my x value. Add my y values together, 3 plus 5, divide by 2. So that's -2, divide by 2. And then 8, divide by 2. So my ordered pair would be -1 and 4. If I want to label a point, I just choose any point. So I could say point A. I could have chose B or C. Then if I want to label a line, then I just choose 2 points off of that. So I'm going to say A to C. A line, we want to just put arrows on either side. If I want a line segment, then I'm going to choose A to B with a line on top. I could have chose A to C. I could have chose C to B, C to B, or B, A, either that way. If I want to do array, then I'm just going to choose 2 points, B, C, in my array, meaning I'm going to start from B and the line's going to continue on out, is really what I'm saying. And then a plane. A plane you can label with 3 points. So it would just be A, B, C. Or you could do, or you could say C, B, A. So just any 3 points, nothing there. Okay? Use a protractor to find the measure. So as you go through, you take the protractor out, place it on there, and then measure it for it. So as I put mine on, measure it out. Okay? And you're just going to go ahead and kind of estimate out exactly where it is. For it, just make sure you have your line on the bottom measuring up. And so for here, it looks like about 155 degrees. So 155 degrees. Describe the transformation. So when I'm moving it, this is moving it. Okay, so it's moves 3 to the left. Left. So we call that a transformation. We go to the next one. What type of transformation? This switches the sign. So this is a reflection over the y-axis. So anytime I just switch the sign of the x, that's switching the sides. Label the angle, so we'd say that's angle U, angle TUV, or we could say angle VUT. Construct the angle bisector. So if I want an angle bisector, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw just an arc on it, anywhere. Okay, so I take my compass out, and I draw an arc on there. Oops, that's not so good. Let me do that again. So I'm going to go ahead and draw an arc on there. I don't want it to be too big. Otherwise, it's going to create some issues. So I'm just going through here. There's my... Now, from there, I'm going to go ahead and draw from these 2 points that I see. So I have a point here and a point here. So I'm going to draw 2 more arcs from those 2 points out on my graph. So there's one, and there's another. So where they meet, right there. So then I take my protractor and I draw from the vertex through that point is going to be my angle bisector. Identify the hypothesis and the conclusion. Okay, so the hypothesis is Jill goes to school. And the conclusion would be she is a student. Next, we want to construct this. First thing you're going to make is an array. So I'm gonna have, and actually I'll do it this way. So there's my array that I'm going to use. And now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to measure, take out my compass and measure the length of AB. So I'll start with AB. So I measure the length of AB from the end. I make an arc. Okay? Then I measure the distance of CD. From where I ended, I make another arc. Then I go measure XY. And from where I ended, I make my last arc. Okay, so really that distance goes from that point to that point down there. All right, next thing, we want to state the rule. So I'm just looking here. We go from -2 to 2, from -2 to 2. So I can see, hey, for my X and Y, my X is just switching the sign. Now for my Y, I'm going from 5 to 10, from -1 to -2. So I'm taking this value and I'm timesing it by 2 for each one of those. 2 times 2 is 4. So I'm going 2 times my Y value. Okay, this would not be rigid, not rigid. Oops, there you go. Not rigid. And to show that it's not rigid, I know it's not rigid because I'm multiplying, but to show it, okay, I would go ahead, so I could say because I'm multiplying, or I could do the distance formula. So -2 minus, so I'm just going to do the distance formula. So I'm going to look at these 2 points right here. I'm going to show that xy does not equal x prime y prime. So this is -2 minus -2 squared plus 5 minus -1 squared. So this is -2 minus 2, so that's 0 squared plus 5, that would be 6 squared. So that would be 36. The square root of 36 equals 6. So the distance from x to y equals 6. So then I'm going to go ahead and do it here. So now I'm going to check this point right here. So we're checking this point here. So we're going to go 2 minus 2 squared plus, and then 10 minus -2. So that would be 0 plus 12 squared. So that's really the square root of 144, which equals 12. This not equal, so we know that it's not rigid. So you can, that's what we'd be looking at. So we want to solve for x given A, B, D. So A to B to D, that whole angle. So we're going to say 4x plus 2 plus 3x minus 7 equals 2x plus 55. And now we just solve. So 4 plus 2, that would be 7x. 2 plus -7 is 5 equals 2x plus 55. So I'm going to draw my line. I'm going to add the 5. Add the 5. I'm going to subtract the 2x. So I'm doing it in kind of one move. Those cancel, and I have 5x equals 60. I divide by 5, and x equals 12. So that's great. So I'm going to erase it now. So if you need to, you could stop, rewind it. So we get x equals 12 here. Now the next part says find the measure of A, B, C. So we want A to B to C. So I'm going to go, I know what x is now, so it's 4 times 12 plus 2. 4 times 12 would be 48, plus 2, which is 50 degrees. We come down here, solve for x, given c is the midpoint. Midpoint means this right here equals that side. So if they say AC is 3x plus 5, and they say CB is 5x minus 7, I know that they're equal. So I just got to pay attention. Are they giving me the whole length? What are they telling me? Midpoint is the middle, so I set them equal. 3x plus 5 equals 5x minus 7. Draw my line. I'm going to solve now. Subtract 3x here, so that cancels. I'm going to add the 7 here. So 12 equals 2x. So divide by 2, and 6 is equal to x. Now, it says solve for x. Okay, good. Sometimes it'll say solve for AC, so we want to pay attention to that. Draw the transformation. So this is telling me to add 6 to each of my values. So I'm just going to go ahead and add 6. So I take B and go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this would be B prime. Okay, Y doesn't change, so we leave it like that. A, move it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is A prime. And then C, move it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's C prime. So then we go ahead and connect it. And there's our triangle. Should keep that same size. So we would describe this as a translation because it moved it over. Again, we could have done it this way, -4, -4, 3, -4, 1, and then -2, 1. So this is B, this was A, this was C, and then we do our transformation, so we add 6. So it's -6 plus, or -4 plus 6 is 2, 3, and then we have 2, 1, and then -2 plus 6 is 4, 1. And you can see that that's what we did. Okay, write the following statement as a conditional. Sam will go to the zoo if it is sunny. So say this way, if it is sunny, then Sam will go to the zoo. Go to the zoo. Okay, give a counterexample for the following conclusion. If two angles are supplementary, then they form a linear pair. Let's say I have an angle over here, that this is 80 degrees. I have an angle all the way across the room, like this. This is 100 degrees. So supplementary means they add to 180. These add to 180, but they don't form a line. So as long as they're detached, that would be 1. Identify the hypothesis and conclusion of the statement. This right here, it is raining outside, is the hypothesis. Conclusion, I will wear a coat. Do not include if and then when you do that. Otherwise, that would be marked wrong. So that's the chapter review. I wanted to give that to you. Check your work. Make sure you're doing it correct.